Howdy all, I am Adam the Renaissance Nerd. The Flash is here. It is upon us in all its honestly mediocre glory. We've been expecting this movie to fail from the beginning. A lot of us wondered if it would fail because of a woke agenda inserted into it, if it would fail because Ezra Miller is Ezra Miller, or it would fail because James Gunn wants nothing to do with it going forward with his DCU. 2 out of the 3 of these factors are true. One thing I can definitely say as we go forward, this movie is not woke. As I critique it from this point forward, it's not because it has woke, SJW, intersectional, feminist, Marxist agenda stooped in there. No, I will be simply saying this movie is mediocre at best, bad at worst, purely based on the merits of its production value. Its casting is a problem in many ways. The acting is also a problem in many ways. The theme plus the pacing combine together to create an aimless track through 2 hour plus minutes. And in the end, the CGI is just abominable. I mean, what are you going to do? When you try to make a movie for 3 years, you change directors, you change a lot of writers, and we're left with something that in the end is meaningless, has no place to go in James Gunn's future DCU plans. So that being said, let's move forward. We start with the casting. Ezra Miller can't handle it. He cannot carry the movie. First of all, because he's a very one-dimensional actor. Spastic, goofy, zany, awkward. He attempts to be serious several times in this movie, and for brief seconds it comes off merely because he's paired up against himself as a zany, awkward weirdo. He has no screen presence. He has no gravitas. When either Michael Keaton, Sasha Calle, Ben Affleck, anybody else is on the screen with him, he kind of just instinctually steps aside for either a more practiced actor like Michael Keaton or somebody with a character who is just a little more interesting, like Sasha Calle's Kara Zor-El, excuse me. As soon as they're on the screen, my 2 Barrys are pretty much forgettable because you don't really want to look at them. Michael Keaton, he does a serviceable job. I personally do not hold Batman 89 on a pedestal or on a shelf, even though I was there. I bought the toys, obsessed about it for a year prior and to release and post-release. But then, with Batman Returns, it kind of just fades into my good movie list. Because it's just that. It's just a good movie. Michael Keaton doesn't define Batman for me. In fact, Kevin Conroy more defines Batman for me than Michael Keaton does. May he rest in peace. Michael Keaton, he just delivers a performance. He's just there. And when he's there, he's not even there because if there's a super physical scene, it was a stuntman combined with the god-awful CGI we're going to talk about later in this review. He's just Batmaning his way through this. Just kind of he's almost the same as Zod in this. He's just there to kind of push the story along. Ezra, Barrys, my 2 Barrys need to do something. Hey, let's go find Bruce Wayne, Batman, because he's the smart one. We can use his resources to find something out. Or we need you because you're the one with a plan, because I'm zany, goofy, awkward Barry, and I can't get this done on my own. At the same time, Sasha Calle, as I said, she is not the woke disaster we thought she was going to be. She also simply exists in this movie. Whereas whereas we thought she was going to be girl boss, I'm in charge, do what I say, I'm going to own everything. No, she isn't. Now, while she gives a rather flat, subdued performance, in my opinion, it's nothing to be upset about. In fact, because of the way her character is portrayed, you actually want to see a little bit more of maybe where she was going, what she was going to do, what her true motivations are, how she comes to the decisions she makes so quickly. And that brings me quickly to, we'll talk about the theme and the pacing of this movie. The theme. The theme is a very clear theme. Acceptance of loss, acceptance of the past, because the past makes us who we are. Without certain events, our characters don't develop in the way that we now would see ourselves. And when you're a hero, and especially in a superhero world like DC, your possible tragic origin, makes you the hero that you are and need to be. And in this movie where Barry chooses to change his origin, it changes the Barry. Barry 2, My Two Barrys. And so we follow a movie where we're supposed to be thinking about our experiences make us who we are, but it loses it more than halfway through, or earlier than even halfway through. Once we're at My Two Barrys, that kind of evaporates into moving from A to B so we can get to C. And then, of course, that means when you're the fastest man alive, your movie should be going full speed, light speed. No, the pacing of this movie is just atrocious. It drags, it lingers. We spend more time with My Two Barrys thinking about, worrying about things and actually doing stuff. Talking, feeling. There's so much emotions and this and that. It really is a bit of a CW movie. A lot of talking, a lot of emotion sharing, but not a lot of doing stuff. And I'm not just talking action. I mean doing more than just sitting and talking, listening and talking, watching and talking. It's just all over the place. At the same time, when you combine the theme and the pacing problems, where the theme, as I said, loses itself halfway through, finds itself at the very end, where Ezra Miller does make a very convincing speech about it in the climax, it's not there. Because you also have a problem of you're kind of stooping in an origin story to a character who has existed through the Snyderverse for a number of years now. I believe, 6, 7 years? Ezra Miller's Barry has existed on screen. So you have a movie where you're trying to tell a theme about loss, but we're going to stoop in a bit of an origin story, and then we're going to quickly move on so we can get to the climax, or we're going to full speed ahead without any more character development on maybe some characters that needed a little more development to increase our interest. See what I'm saying? Problem with pacing, problem with theme, which leads to an overall story gobbledygook where a movie doesn't know what it's doing. And you really have a problem then when your entire movie, its feel, its grab, its eye-catching is supposed to be based upon top-of-the-line, state-of-the-art CGI. No. CGI is dog shit. Black Panther and its PS2 CGI is on a championship pedestal compared to this. Everything looks rubbery. Everything looks fake. Nothing feels real. The uncanny valley is very wide. You're watching Ezra Miller flail about. You're watching him do goofy stuff, and that brings me to the other part of this. Within the CGI, within the story, is forced humor. That's one of the other big failings of this movie. They're trying to force humor upon you. This isn't exactly a spoiler, but in the opening, because it's in the opening 10 minutes, you're going to see it if you're watching this no matter what. It doesn't spoil the theme. Barry saves a bunch of babies. I know that's going around now. Yes, he saves a bunch of babies. But before he saves the babies, he's running low on calories because he's got a little meter on his wrist. It's telling him, oh, my calories are low. I can't do my super flash abilities now. I need food. Yeah, we know that. That's a part of the Flash. But what does he do? As he assesses the baby situation, first thing he goes for is a vending machine. So you can scarf everything down in there and drink everything down and then grab a microwave and eat the burrito that was in the microwave before putting a baby in the microwave while saving the other babies from random falling debris that are so coincidentally going to kill them before they even hit the ground and go splat. It's all supposed to be done with humorous, adventurous, zany Flash stuff, but it's just awkward, silly, stupid, doesn't really feel genuine. As opposed to everything Barry does to the Flash doesn't feel genuine, doesn't look genuine. It's just there. It's just happening. And you're detached from it Just like Sasha Calle's fighting Zod. Your detachment, both in, you have a part of the story you understand, but because Kara hasn't been fleshed out enough, her emotional outbursts, there's not enough of a background to understand why she loses it so quickly, why she's maybe not calm and collected. Combined then with horrific CGI, which leads over to Michael Keaton's Batman CGI. When it's not a stunt double, it's just a Batman flitting about. Even when it's Ben Affleck's Batman, something just doesn't look right. Something doesn't feel right in the face and the body. Nothing has a feeling of authenticity, genuine nature at all in this movie. You're sitting back, you're bored, just waiting for it to end because you want it to get to the next horrific scene because it means you're one step closer to this movie being over. And it is over. This movie, as I said, is mediocre. It doesn't have a lasting moment in it. Yeah, I chuckled a couple of times, but I can't even remember what I chuckled at. And it's only been a couple of hours since I've seen the movie. I remember every moment, but I don't remember what made me laugh. In about a year's time, this movie will be forgotten because that's what James Gunn wants. He wants it forgotten because his DCU has no room for Ezra Miller's Barry Flash or Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, Ben Affleck's Batman, or even the surprise Batman, the worst kept secret on the internet right now, that surprise Bruce Wayne at the end. There's no room. Well, there is room for the guy who directed this. He's directing Batman Brave and the Bold for James Gunn. That should be a trip. What I'm saying here in the end, you can skip this movie. You don't need to watch it. It's forgettable. Frankly, it's boring. You're not going to have a good time. But if you did have a good time, I'm glad for you. But you got to understand, because this movie's going nowhere, what's to get engaged with, what's to get attached to. Because between performances, bad pacing, bad CGI, messy themes, and an attempt to make us like a character that is played by an unlikable human being in Ezra Miller, this movie is not going anywhere. All right? I'm done. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, a like would be very much appreciated. If you're new here, I invite you to subscribe to me right here on YouTube. We hope to earn your trust and support using facts and logic, because facts and logic do not care about whiny Stan and SW Fifis. Hit the notification button, share my videos if you like what I'm preaching. By all means, leave a comment. Love to hear from real people like you. What do you think? Did you enjoy The Flash? Do you feel the same way I do? Or do you hate it? Or, I mean, do you love it? Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. As long as it takes money away from Disney, that's what I do care about. Thank you again for watching. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos, maybe a little shit stirring here and there, who knows, @theranernerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.